What's going on, good people? Rich here.
It's your girl Ray P here. Welcome back to another episode of the Culture Garden Podcast. If you are watching, you can see we are not alone. But if you're not, we are joined by Culture Garden. We got y'all family, 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 family. We got Maurice
Yes, I'm
Hunt
here. Mo Dundada.
the
Huh?
third.
Mo Dundada.
Big Mo.
Listen, if you listen to We Got Y'all every week, I'm blessed to have one of my favorite people in the entire world give me an incredible introduction.
Mhm.
And if I can just give that same sentiment to Maurice,
Please.
super producer,
Yo,
talent extraordinaire,
come on.
retired rapper,
What else?
Yeah, actually,
creator,
Let me tell you.
creator and narrator
And then
of
what?
the audio drama series Roll,
That too.
creator and
Come
a
on.
mic on
Type
Good
it.
Earners Sopranos,
Multi.
co-host of my favorite podcast,
Come on.
Another Week in the Books,
Bookworm is where y'all at.
new podcast alert with his sister. We keeping it in the family,
Come
Mhm.
on.
not in the So Far Pod,
Come
an
on.
objective outlook on Drake, which I remember asking Mo, bro, you sure you want to release this at this time? Is this the right moment for this? You sure
Yeah.
you don't want to let this breathe for a little bit before you roll it out? But I will say, and very impressed and happy with the material.
Thank you.
You can definitely tell you're a fan. However, you keep it honest, like you do in everyday life. Maurice, you have become someone that is, we know and love you here at the Culture Garden. You are someone who has entered our lives. I've told you before, probably the highest compliment, and not even a compliment because it was genuine. But there was a moment when I told you specifically, "Hey, bro, like you're in my prayers, man. Like I pray for you. You know what I'm saying? I pray for Ray P every day. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely pray for you and Spike, specifically every morning when I wake up. That's what you mean to me. That's what you mean to us. Me and Rachel are very similar when it comes to our assertion of people and human beings, and we don't necessarily accept everyone. I knew who you were when Rachel would say things such as like, "Oh, I love him. I love them." When Rachel coined the phrase, "This is another week in the books" conversation.
Yes.
All of these things go into that. There's nobody else we would rather have to talk with us, that we would trust with our time, other than Maurice Hunt III. Welcome to the Culture Garden Podcast, brother. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man, and I think this is like the first official outside of the family and friends episode. So it's fire to be here. I thank both of you for that wonderful introduction. I practiced. I was gonna cut you off. Like I was really gonna get my Kanye West on. I'm gonna let you finish. Like because I was like, I'm not gonna let him do it this time. I'm gonna cut him off, and I'm gonna take over the complimenting. But the
whole purpose of this, we give flowers, man. That's why the Culture Garden was built, man. That's why it was made, man. Real quick before you kind of get into it, because I do want to just let you do your thing.
Yeah.
For those who are listening, we appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in.
For sure.
Please check the episode description for the link tree. Shout out to We Got Y'all. Rachel is killing it over there.
Come on.
Just getting started because we are about to have a long road throughout the summer and probably entering the fall with all the great television. We are discussing The Chi on We Got Y'all. Please subscribe to that feed. We just released episode 11, season 6, episode 11 yesterday. So you can catch up on everything The Chi related. And before we get into today's episode, explicit content will be there. But we mentioned last week how, given the rise of We Got Y'all and the things that we want to accomplish over there, Culture Garden might look a little different for a couple months. There might be, you usually get movies every week. There might be a movie, and then the next week be maybe a conversation with someone. I know there's another best episode ever we got planned, the whole nine. But for our first one, we wanted to bring in Mo. I'm going to let Mo go ahead and take over. He's going to be a mic, And with him being a day one listener, he knows how we operate. He is family, as Rachel said earlier. I'm kind of let him have the floor to navigate this conversation. And we're just honored to be a part of it. And we're going to let you take over, man. So the floor is yours, my brother.
All right, there will be spoilers. There will be spoilers because you two are very mysterious. And today is going to be the day. You sure you want to do this?
The mystique is part of the brand, man.
It is. I know, but I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to go crazy. I respect, I ain't going to do that, but it is a little bit more. I want to. So,
hey, Rachel, hold on. I'm sorry. Real quick, Rachel.
Yes.
You know what song I was listening to on the way in?
Ooh, what?
I'm politicking with this chicken, wondering if I'm a creeper.
A little hood rat bitch.
A little hood rat bitch from 25th named Tamika.
Favorite song in the world.
Coming through like I do, getting my bark on. Knew she was a thug because when I met her, she had a scarf on. Come on, man. That's me and Ray P song.
Hey, man. I love it.
That's my dog. That's my dog. What's up,
by the way, too, I got, I'm saying, True. You see that rose right there? Huh? What we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
That's Sandra's rose right there. No, I'm just playing.
Here you go. Get out of here.
You know the funny thing, my mom's name is Sandra. How crazy is that?
That is wild. That makes sense.
Oh man. So let's I want to build context to y'all perspective on movies. How y'all get to y'all perspective, how y'all very well thought out in regards to particular movies. I want to kind of get at y'all, but I think to get there, I want to understand a little bit about who y'all are. A lot of that makes sense. I think that y'all give a lot of that through y'all reviews. But you always know this is, I don't want to say haunted me, but ever since you said this, you talk about living in your head rent free. Ever since you said, I have the ability that I make people feel comfortable and feel they know me and they realize they really don't know that much about me. Really. It's just, I've never heard nobody say that before. And it's never left my head. So I'm always like, man, I gotta know.
A woman, I'll credit a woman, maybe a couple, to that phrase as to where I got that from. And it took a woman, like everything else in the world, it took a woman to say it for me to kind of understand it. But yeah.
Okay. So let's see. How far back do I want to go?
What's up, man?
Y'all talk college a little bit. Y'all talk college at length, I would say, on We Got Y'all. So I'll put it this way. Which one is more essential to have the conversation about? Y'all, college Rich and college Ray, or 20s Rich and 20s Ray?
Ooh.
Say that again. Like, I want to make
which one is more essential on kind of building this narrative of how y'all get to where y'all are?
Damn, that is Ray, I'm gonna let you have that one first. That's a great question, Mo.
Because I don't want to miss nothing if it's worth going back to college.
So many of the lessons learned in college for me have waded me through the waters of my 20s and 30s. So I moved when I turned 25 2 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks after I left Ohio. So much of my 20s, or the majority of my 20s, was me refiguring life out away from close family and friends, the life I knew. So I think that my glory stories are probably college, but if we think about introspection and growth, that will probably be my 20s.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna take the easy way out. It's twofold, right? Mm-hmm. College is the foundation. And what I mean by that is, from the moment I met Rachel, I knew that that's my nigga. Like, there was never, we have a very unique bond in the sense of we don't need a ton from each other, but we give each other the most.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And we're very low maintenance on what we need from each other. Like Rachel and myself, we'll never, I can't speak for Rachel, but I can say I've never felt like Rachel was lacking in something. I felt like something was lacking from Rachel. Our relationship has always been solid. It's always been 100. I met Rachel when I was 18. And when you meet someone at that age, a very transformative year, and you hit it off like that, you kind of know everything's solid.
Mhm.
Now, the second part of that is the 20s are probably the most important. And I will say Rachel was very intentional about making sure, and I've said this before in the podcast, where your college friends will be lifelong friends if you take the time to nurture those relationships after college.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
Rachel had a job where she was traveling and time was spent in Cincinnati. And Rachel was very intentional about making sure that she reached out when she was here.
Yes.
And from the early years, it was me and a few other people that she knew from Cincinnati. And as it got later on, there was a stint that she had where they pump faked her and they told her she was going to be in Cincinnati. I think she only ended up with one trip. We had the very legendary wine bar night. We had the 4 for 4 night. But I say all that to say Rachel was intentional about making sure that when I'm in your area, when I'm in your city, I'm hitting up.
Mhm.
What you do with that is up to you. But I want you to know I fuck with you. I'm here. I want to connect with you. I want to break bread with you. And as someone who has a detaching personality, who likes being kind of to myself at the crib, whatever, it was a no-brainer that when Rachel calls, you reach back out. So I think a combination of both of them, like knowing that that's going to be my dog, and then her being the first one to be able to kind of be in that territory of, all right, let's nurture it. Let's nurture
This is an adult friendship. This is what it looks like.
This is an adult friendship. This is something that's going to last longer.
Sure.
This is like when Culture Garden rolled out and Rachel wasn't a part of it. Rachel's commenting. She's giving her thoughts and her reviews. This is us on Twitter discussing season 1 finale of Insecure, discussing all types of other nonsense and fuckery. And just knowing that if Rachel calls, I'm there. It ain't no questions about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a twofold type of thing.
All right.
It's hard to explain fully just because it's so natural. Like I don't think me or Rachel have to work at the friendship. Right? If we show up, we're gonna make it happen.
I love you so much.
Yes, facts. I love you. Like it's straight up. Like, and it's one of the few relationships I have where it's that easy.
Mhm.
Life is hard, so I appreciate having relationships that easy. Where, like I said, it's very low maintenance.
So I'm gonna try to do something. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying Kyron can FaceTime me unprovoked and get an answer.
Yo,
yeah.
Speaking of that, Mo, before you get into your next thing, I remember one day Rachel was getting her nails done, her feet done, one of them, and I hit her up on FaceTime. Yeah, both. I called her on FaceTime and she answered. She was good, and I literally said, "Hey, I just wanted to see if I could FaceTime you, unprovoked, and you would answer." And she answered. Man, that's my dog. Like, there's nothing I'm ever doing where I won't stop and answer the phone for Rachel.
That's fire.
Rachel calling me, it's an automatic pickup.
That's fire. I'm gonna do this thing, so y'all just stick with me a little bit because this is Culture Garden. So I'm gonna float through certain scenes of movies within the conversation. So so with that being said, y'all saying a low maintenance friendship. Let's go back to Love and Basketball. The scene, of course, the famous scene on the bleachers. They're going back and forth. Anyway, they're going back and forth. And obviously that relationship needed a certain level of maintenance. Who, based on y'all perspective, who was right there? You were supposed to be there. If I would have been there, if I stayed, I wouldn't be starting. So who was right there in that moment?
Monica was right.
That line's exactly up to
1,000%.
Yeah.
Monica was 1,000% right.
See? All right. Go ahead.
So Q has been selfish from the time we met him. And I'm not even going to say that Monica was selfish in this moment. She prioritized the reason she was at school. You can come to the dorm with me. You wanted to stay out here. I get it. Howsoever, if you love me the way that you said that you do, and I understand that you're hurting and you're in a compromising position, why are you, if you love me, putting me in a position to fail? Why are you, if you love me, putting me in a position where I cannot put my best foot forward, where I am prone to getting caught? I'm already not a favorite on the team. The coach already, quote unquote, does not like me. Why do you want to make it harder for me when all I've
Mhm.
ever done is try to make it easier for you?
When I know that the red carpet was rolled out for me to succeed, and there's really nothing I can do that's going to look like failure in the power that be's eyes, then
Mhm.
I'm exerting all my privilege to helping my person, whether
For
it
sure.
be a romantic relationship, whether it be a friendship. If I got some juice, then my people are eating as well. Even if that means that, hey, I can get you some free chicken tenders at the Union cafeteria
Mhm.
at this
Yeah.
time. Pull up, meet me. I got a connect in there. They're going to take care of you. Even if that's the extent of my juice, I'm going to make sure you good. If I call you my people, and you good. If you talk about somebody you love, and as Rachel just said, you know what it looks like and the struggle and the uphill battle it takes for them to succeed. I'm gonna make that road as easy as possible because I already know you
For
got
sure.
enough difficulty on that path.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, no matter how much I want to carry that weight, I'm not going to be able to carry all of it. The powers that be won't allow me to.
Mhm.
You're going to have to carry some of that. But if I can just be that solace and that peace for those moments, because I know you're strong enough to get through it. I know it's going to be a bitch. I know it's going to be a headache. I know it's going to suck. But those moments you need to vent and kind of lash out. Let me be that for you. You need to go to curfew. Cool. Like I done known you since I put that score on your face. What are we talking about? How
Exactly.
dare I trip over a curfew? Like, especially when I know what it took. I read your
All
fucking
right.
acceptance
All right.
letter,
Hold on.
your scholarship letter. You feel me?
I feel y'all, but here's the. I think I'm with y'all, but just try to look at it from this
Mhm.
side.
Okay.
If I'm Q, I'm showcasing. I'm further into you than you are into me, because my level of trust in this moment. You're talking about, of course, I know. Are you? I'm a ball player. That's your love, but I'm saying my father is not who I thought he was, and I look to
Mm,
you.
mm.
I looked more. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm about to go deep on it because I
That
mean,
is,
No,
obviously, you know
that's
what
a
I
different
mean.
conversation. You're right.
Just an
it's
interesting
valid.
thing. But he is selfish.
It's
Like
valid.
I'm with you. Like, but that
That no,
moment.
that what you ask is very valid. Rachel, go ahead and get into it. But that's a very valid
I
question
was gonna
because
say, because here's the thing, and uh, if I love you, I will bend over backwards, hate it. But
I mean, it's a part of
but
it.
they very well could have. I have one of my line sisters play volleyball. I know what her curfews used to look like. Like, no shade. You just come back with me. We
Mhm.
can leave after room checks. We can finagle it, but just
Mhm.
let me, don't do anything to my detriment in support of you,
Okay.
because we can navigate both. You can make
my
sure
thing,
I'm good. I can show up and make sure you're good in the same fell swoop.
my thing is Mo, and I love the way you word that because that is a different perspective, and I completely
Hmm.
understand that everything I just said previously. This is one of those few things that I don't have control over,
Mhm.
and I kind of need an
Yeah.
immediate answer.
Yeah.
However, given the strength of the relationship, it's delayed, not denied.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
might not be able to give you that conversation tonight, but first thing in the morning, like
Mhm.
my nigga, as soon as I finish practice and treatment, I'm coming straight to you. Let's talk all about it.
Mhm.
Like, can you give me 16 hours? Can
Mhm.
you give me 20 hours?
Let me
Like,
ask
I want
this.
to hear y'all. Or, hey, can go to your room? I go to my room. Let's talk on the phone. Like, let's talk about it.
Okay,
If you,
that probably, yeah. So think about
there's a
this.
compromise.
There
It
is a
takes
compromise.
a certain level of that emotional maturity
Mhm.
from the person that needs something.
Yeah. And
And
that
I'm not
freshman.
saying that Q is wrong if he
Yeah.
feels. I'm not even saying Q is wrong. I get it,
Mhm.
but how many times has she shown up for you?
Yeah. Let me ask this. if going through, at this moment, this is Q's most devastating moment. We all been through devastation. Like that's a part of the human experience. So at the most devastating moment of your life, where it's like, I'm crying, I'm laughing, I can't gather what I'm feeling right now, and you finally gather enough to reach out to somebody like, look, I just need somebody, and they say, hey, bro, I hear you, bro. I got to get back to you, though. I promise you I'm going to get back. I mean, I get y'all probably like, I ain't tripping about it, bro. It's all good. Like, but,
No, Mo. He's justified in feeling some kind of way.
Okay.
I'm not taking that away. For sure, justified in feeling some kind of way. Mm-hmm. However, you and this Burger King bitch, like you didn't have to.
Oh, the reaction after is like,
yeah, you can feel some kind of way tonight, and I have to eat it. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
However, I too have responsibilities, but you don't got to do all of that. You ain't got to give me back like that.
Back like that.
Yeah. You don't get a nigga back like that.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, what Rachel said is 100% spot on, and I want to be clear. I'm speaking as a 37-year-old man, not a 21-year-old college
freshman.
student. Yeah. It would probably be 19. Freshman year.
Really, 19. Yeah.
So I want to be clear on that. Like, this is life that has got me to this point. I don't know how it's gonna go at that point in my life. It's a lot more tricky. But the sentiment of what it should be holds true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me ask this: have y'all been in love before?
Of course.
Yes.
Was it in the college period?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, maybe high school, or maybe 20s. A version of whatever you thought it was.
Or what it was, yes.
Okay, all right. I'm going somewhere with why I asked
for
this.
What? Hold on, that's the most Ray P answer ever. For what it was, yes.
I mean, because you don't know.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
I'm shiny O'Neal to the bullshit,
bro. Definitely shiny on him, like real shiny on him. Would you say that love, that you were in love, did it end in heartbreak, or was it a, like a mutual thing?
I was devastated.
I'll say,
okay.
Yeah, my love, that love didn't allow me to open up in my entire 20s. The rest of my 20s were shot.
Okay. So walk me.
I didn't even know it until afterwards. Yeah.
So walk. Okay. So what year how many years of college did you do? Or y'all did?
4.
5.
Okay. What year? What class were you at this point?
Junior, 3rd year.
Okay. So
when it started or when it ended?
When it started.
Oh, sophomore year for me. 2nd year.
Okay.
Sophomore year for me.
And ended when?
3rd year. I mean, ended at 29, 30. Actually, ended at 30.
Oh, so
when did the off and on begin? 3rd year.
The off and on. Oh,
really? Off and on that carried throughout the.
Okay.
I held space for this person for my entire 20s. Like nobody in my 20s, unfortunately. Shout out to them. Mm-hmm. Shout out to all the incredible women. They just didn't have a chance because I was holding space for an individual.
Hey man, shout out to the hooper out there busting out the gritty. I know why you mad, nigga. I ain't even tripping. Okay.
I was out of school. I had graduated when it was over. For real.
Okay. So Ray and y'all both considered it differently. Ray, you're saying for what it was, I thought it was love, or we were in love. And Rich, you're saying no, it was that, and it obviously it didn't pan out. So I want to throw it both ways. So first, what was it that drew you in to say, oh, this is love? Was it your behavior? It's got you getting out of pocket? Is it got you, I ain't kicking it with my homeboys? We ain't turning up like that because I'm always cuddle up. Like what is it that's got you, knowing in your mind that, like, was it a conversation that's happening?
Mo.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rachel. I'll
Nope,
explain
go
after
ahead.
you do.
Go
Maurice,
ahead.
what's your favorite color?
Today,
Yeah, what's your favorite color?
we'll go purple.
Purple, right? All right,
Okay.
purple's your favorite color.
Mhm.
If I ask you why, chances are you just looked at purple and it felt right. There's no really rhyme or reason as to why purple is your favorite, other than I looked at this color and it just said something to me.
Oh,
It did something to me.
okay.
That's how I describe that answer. It was a moment where, and I'll never forget this. And damn, how the fuck did we get here? What the fuck are you doing, Mo?
So quick.
I told you. Did you sure you
I
want to do this?
remember my freshman year. Rachel knows the person I'm about to name. His name is Ali. The dorm that me and Rachel lived in our freshman year, there
Co-ed.
were
Yes.
it was co-ed and it was a suite. So you had
Yes.
3 different bedrooms plus a main living space and then your bathroom.
Oh, yeah, rich.
So 6
Yeah.
people total. Here you go. 6 people total in the dorm, but you only room with one other person. One of my suite mates was Ali. Ali was a year older than me, so he had been there to kind of know the lay of the land around Toledo. And he was the only person with the car outside of Pierre. Shout out to my brother Pierre, but Pierre just wasn't active like that. So Ali had the car. Ali was the one saying, "Hey, there's a fish fry on what was it, Alfred? What was the name of that street that started with an A? Back there behind engineering. It don't even matter.
Yeah.
Alfred, one of them streets, whatever."
Yeah.
He would tell me about all this stuff. And I remember being in the crossings and I saw this woman and I remember telling Ali, like, yo, that's gonna be my girl. Like it was one of them almost like a movie type of shit. Like that's gonna be my girl. And then like
You had seen
however
her
much
prior
time
to that
later-
moment?
No. First time I seen her.
Oh wow.
And she wasn't even dolled up, had a scarf on, all type of shit. I said straight up, like that's
See, you a different type of nigga because I've seen chicks never be like, oh, that's my girl, but I definitely like, oh yeah, she wifey material for real.
Nah, I told that nigga Ali,
you are different.
That woman right there is gonna be my girl. And however many months later it happened.
Okay.
Didn't know her name, didn't know nothing. I just had a feeling. Like going back to that question, what's your favorite color? I don't know what it was. There's no rhyme or reason as to why she was the one. It was just something about her where I was like, yo, nah.
Okay.
I'm
gonna get back to that record.
Okay, for me, and I'll preface this too. If you ask the person who I have in mind, he will say, "No, we were in love." For what it was, yes.
Why do you say that?
Because I think that separation, and because I'm not it's not even semi, it's amicable now. Because we cool, quote unquote, it allows you to rewrite the history, but you weren't like good to me.
Does that mean it
You
wasn't
love me
love
so
because he
much.
wasn't good to you?
You love me so much, but he was doing me bad as fuck. What are we talking about here?
Okay.
Like, that's not
So
love.
what?
Not to Shawnee
Yeah, you're
O'Neal,
right.
you know. And there was a considerable age difference, so
On
you
whose
would
part?
know better than me. Oh, he was significantly older. You
Okay.
you should know better than I do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But for real, we started off cool. We had a class. I actually started college in the summer opposed to in the fall.
Okay.
And he was a super senior and ended up in one of those classes. So we were very cool, you know, as cool as a 18-year-old and a 25-year-old can be, but cool nonetheless, you know. But I really liked talking to him. I liked our conversations. When my interest in Greek life was made known, like we talked a lot about that. And then there just became this random flirtation and it just turned into a lot of quality time. And I think that to the conversation that started this, whole discussion, I make people feel very comfortable. And it was very easy to learn things about him that most people even now do not know. And so because of that, I will say, and I really valued his opinion on a lot of things. There was a trust level there that most other people didn't get. That's my dog, like, be cool now.
Mm.
No.
Okay. Ray, was you one of them high school girls that the dude was pulling up to the school? Oh my
1000%.
goodness. I'm the biggest hater. Like, I hate the way that you drive.
Sure.
I'm the biggest hater. I used to be like, oh, so y'all got love for the West Coast? Like us niggas in school with y'all got to go outside of the school and get this nigga that's 22. I was definitely
Very problematic. I can look at
Yeah.
that now as a woman and be
Of
like,
course.
bitch, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I remember being 13, 14, breaking up with my little same age summer camp boyfriend because
the big
big
dog
homie
here.
was like, what you want?
Yeah.
You know, like, just
I'm looking at Shorty like, what you need, what you want. All but nothing, because I got you, because you struck. Yeah.
Now, mind you, I was on punishment most of high school behind a nigga. So,
okay. So let me ask. So, what was the most? And I'm tying this back to some of y'all episodes because y'all understanding for y'all both to not be married. Y'all understanding for context. Y'all understanding for complexity when it comes to relationships. I'm always it blows my mind as a married person. Like, it blows my mind. And
just to butt in real quick, Mo, I want it to be known, Maurice has repeatedly told me his favorite episodes are when Rachel and myself are discussing relationships.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which I want to know why. You can go ahead and finish your question, but I always want to know why. What is it about those specific conversations that Rachel and myself have that draw you in? Why do you think they're so good or intricate? What is it? I never asked you specifically what it draws you to those episodes.
Well, first, I mean, of course, I came across this whole thing because of We Got Y'all. And that's what I just fell in love with y'all product immediately, because I was like, again, what I was seeing from you on the male perspective is there was a level of understanding and vulnerability that I ain't got to be so macho. There's a softness there that I'm being soft for the ladies. I'm trying to hear them out. And then on Ray P's end, it was like this tougher end where it's like, hey, ladies, I get that we feel things and we want this and stuff, but at the same time, you on some BS for real. Like, come on, girl. Like, the way y'all just had that meet in the middle concept was just fire. You normally don't see that. It's normally heavier on one end or the other when it comes to co-hosts, but y'all was like the perfect balance in the middle. And so when it carried over to Culture Garden and y'all started doing the Love Month, or I don't remember how y'all titled it for it.
Malcolm and Marie, you always highlight.
That Malcolm and Marie is...
That's one of my favorite episodes.
People don't even, bro. That right there, that's the one you put the plaque on. You put that up in the wall, like, yeah, this is scan the QR code and listen to this joint. That's the one, because a lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people don't deal with that and want to deal with that type of thing. But for me, I don't know, bro. It's hard for me to explain because it's like I'm married, but I understand so much about the complexities of dating just from observation and watching shows, listening to y'all, listening to friends. So it's just like I'm always curious at the complexities of emotions that go into relationships, which is what I wanted to tie into. Some of y'all, so y'all did this, what I say, 2 years in a row, right? When it comes to the Love Month review.
Romance Month, yeah.
Romance Month. Thank you. What's the next one up after Malcolm and Marie? For y'all?
What do you mean when you say that?
When y'all say, like, obviously y'all, that's the top tier, like that. That's
like, are you asking our opinions on what we've
y'all
done already?
Yeah, like as far as Romance Month. And then I'm going to tie it back to the college stories and kind of the heartbreak element of those relationships. All
right, just to be sure that I'm understanding you correctly. Are you asking me, like, are you asking us, what our favorite episode after Malcolm and Marie from a relationship standpoint is? Or are you asking us like where do we see that going?
Yeah, as far as from a relationship standpoint, like romance month. Because I mean, what you got you get 4 reviews, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so that gives you 7 other choices. I know y'all did this year. What Sylvie's Love, What Men Want, Disappearing Acts.
Yeah, we did. This year we did Beyond the Lights, Sylvie's Love, What Men Want, Disappearing Acts. Okay, I see you doing your research. My dog Mo came prepared.
What are you gonna do?
Last year we did
uh-huh.
Brown Sugar, Malcolm and Marie, The Photograph, Jumping the Broom.
Rachel, it's crazy how far of a scale. And not y'all fired. Don't get it twisted like that. But like what y'all did there, y'all was just in a space that I don't even know y'all knew in that real time. But like it's ridiculous. But anyway,
I'm gonna go to Photograph, then maybe Brown Sugar. Not listed, Inkwell.
Oh, Inkwell.
Yeah, Inkwell wasn't Romance Month, but Inkwell is one of those. There's a moment that happens when Rachel and myself record. When we finish, there's a kind of a brief like that felt good.
Yeah.
One of us will audibly say that like that felt good. And, you kind of in the moment and you're in the conversation and it's you don't really take too much time. I've said repeatedly, I don't really listen to our episodes per se. But every now and then I'll go back and revisit one that we did months back and be like, oh, this was really good. This is a really good conversation.
Yeah.
The Inkwell was right up there.
Yeah.
Like for me, like the Inkwell was a really strong conversation and the Photograph as well. Because I think the Photograph is more modern. It's like our, the closest thing to what we're probably living. And there's just a beautiful story wrapped up. There's 2 beautiful stories wrapped up to one movie. And it was great, a great time for us.
I like the work I did on Best Man too. The series like that.
Best Man might the first one, the original.
No, I think when it came back and dropped the series. Y'all did that, didn't you?
Yeah, we did it. And it's funny you say that because I haven't listened to that ever. I've never gone back to listen to that episode ever. No, I've never listened.
You didn't feel good about it?
No, and not that I felt great about it. I get so upset when networks don't let us discuss these episodically. And that is one of those series where I just felt, for as good as you say it is, we could have gave you 10 in a row based off what they gave us. Maybe not the first episode. The first episode wasn't the most, but everything after that. And trying to condense it all into one episode was a little bit more difficult than what I thought it would be. It wasn't what we would normally do. And that's part of the reason why I've never listened to it, because I always think like this was an opportunity for us to do more.
Should that have been a We Got Y'all?
At the time, no, because We Got Y'all wasn't what it is today.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is on We Got You.
It is on We Got Y'all though. If you want to check out that episode,
I guess that's what I mean. Like the format of the We Got Y'all format. I'm sorry, like actually.
That would have been an incredible discussion to have on We Got Y'all.
All right, so going back to those relationships, I ain't let y'all off the hook. Yeah. y'all thought y'all got away, didn't you? Huh? So I mean, were you on and off as well, Ray P, or was it once you were off that was it?
Yeah. No, it was on and off.
Okay. So when it was off for that last time, did it even hurt?
Yeah, I told y'all last week the nigga moved back to Cleveland fucking randomly.
Oh, that's the bar. Because Rich was cracking up, and I was like, dang, I would love to have been the insider on that info. Because I was like, what is so funny? Yeah, no,
I can laugh about it now. Like, I was with that nigga on Monday, and then like on Wednesday, he was like, hey, I'm moving back to Cleveland. I meant to tell you. Nigga, what? It was like packed up and gone.
Come on.
So fucking crazy.
He too old to be doing that. Come on, bro. He too old to be doing that. Look, she said, I've said all this already. Look at it. Look, I look.
He's apologized. It's not a scenario where it's not, I never got the apology. I did get it, which I know how I feel about apologies. But
Oh boy, goodness gracious.
yeah, so we cool. It's good. We cool. What was the question? Oh, did it hurt? It did hurt.
Yeah.
It did hurt. I was very sad.
Okay. Rich?
So it's funny. Mine, all right. Damn, how do I say this without being too anecdotal? As Ray P likes to say. Mine didn't hurt because of the nature that it happened. There was some bullshit involved, and it was more of a necessity than an understanding. And due to that necessity, there wasn't any room emotionally to process how I really felt.
What do you mean?
I was at that very point, for lack of better terms, in survival mode when it came to the relationship aspect. There was another relationship that I needed to take care of before the love relationship that I had with this person. You know, once you get other people involved. And at that moment, you just kind of do what you got to do. It wasn't like I wanted it to go that way, but it ended up going that way because of what I was involved in at that time. So I didn't get if I was the mature adult version of myself, either A, I wouldn't have been in the situation I was in, or B, I would have ended the first thing the way it should have been ended. Neither one of those happened. So based on the specific circumstance of, I feel like I'm getting caught up right now, I'm going to side with the one that I'm currently involved with, not the one that I have the past and the love with.
How do you?
And I never had a chance to really, I won't say never had a chance, but I never took the time to properly close that door. And it ended up being us not speaking because of some shit that I did, some funny shit. And I pride myself in not doing funny shit.
Yeah, we
definitely did some funny shit.
Yeah, we've been there. So that Usher, you make me want to really resonates.
Nah, it
ain't that. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make sure I understand because I'm just trying to understand. I've been there. I've definitely been on some I definitely had to backpedal game for real. Like I had to go all the way back. Like, all right, I'm caught. Let's go ahead and run down the list of let's run down a list of the behaviors that I wouldn't this when I said I was this. I wasn't that when I'm trying to make sure I understand. I'm not trying to put you in a corner, but I don't want us, the listeners and us, to feel like, okay, we not really understanding exactly what you mean.
I guess the only thing I would say about it is, if I was able to give, if 37-year-old Kyron was able to go back and give 21-year-old Kyron advice,
oh man,
it would be to heal and to acknowledge your shit. What happened between me and that person was a lack of acknowledgement of my feelings and being able to accept what happened for what happened. There was when they say the phrase hurt people, there was such a coldness that came over me because of what happened between me and her that moved me into, all I could think about is, I want you to feel the same hurt that I hurt. And when you get in that area, you're in a very unhealthy space. And when that other person that you've ended up hurting back is able to take it on the chin and accept it and still make amends for her wrongdoings, and you still don't take that branch to make everything cool, and you still keep trying to dig and dig and dig, it just becomes bad. And I didn't know how to deal with the hurt. And I wish I had an avenue or the emotional awareness to understand that I needed to get past that and forgive myself, forgive her for everything that happened. Because now I look at it, it's like it was a real petty thing. And I can specifically remember the moments when I could have just nipped that in the bud and we would have been good. Because we were good. Like, we were friends and all that stuff. But me wanting to put that wall up and me telling myself I'm never going to let a woman make me feel like that again. I'm never going to give access to where that can even happen. That shut off a lot of great potential things. So it's one of those things where I kind of knock myself on.
That's such a real thing though, because I can relate. I was literally just having this conversation. Not so much now, and on it, obviously healing journeys have taken place, are still taking place, it never stops. But I do have a bit of a cold heart, as much of a lover girl as I am. It takes so much to get to that. And so my prayer has been like, oh, I don't want a hard heart. I can be a little cold. I can take that. But I don't want to have a hard heart. And I think about, as much as I talk about these niggas, I too have been guilty of treachery. I'm not.
The biggest culprit is me.
Yeah, I have done some things. What's good for the goose, and it's why now I don't do the whole get back. I don't do that. I have, because I'm gonna get you back. But now,
it gets no more free, Randy.
Boy, that part.
Definitely, it's not the same, but that's very introspective.
Okay. I'm gonna let y'all off the hook. I will let y'all off the hook. Well, next time y'all come another week of books, I'm gonna definitely. It's gonna be a tooth and nail and a fine comb, as they call it, right?
It's fitting though, because like I said, with knowing your love of our romance conversations, it's fitting that you.
Well, yeah, because it's just
dig into us individually to get more information.
Yeah, no doubt. But we'll work towards that. Like, shouts out to Spike Lee. Finally got him in that space where now we're getting somewhere where I was like, that's a missing piece. And now we're getting to the point we can have that without talking about who should pay for the date. Should you open the door? Like these generic conversations about relationships that all these, podcasts and reels and YouTubes talk about. I was like, no, we can get way into the more complex side of things. We ain't got to get nowhere near that. That ain't worth. That's pish posh. It's not worth our time, bro. So let me ask this. I'd imagine I'm going to stand in the seat of a listener.
Okay.
Rich, you were a listener of Good Earners before you were a try host. I think that's the term.
Yeah.
And you remember how it was when it was us two.
Yeah.
And now there's the three of us, and we've spoken at length about how fire it is now, how great it is, where it goes from a conversation to like kind of an experience almost, right?
Yeah.
We, with you two being at the forefront in a few episodes, it is being you two. Shouts out to our brother. How has that been with you two? How does that feel? Like with you two doing it, do you have to carry more weight? How is it feeling for you as podcast creators? What is that like?
All right. So I'm gonna ask Rachel to give me a floor for a couple moments. Because this hasn't been addressed. Probably because I didn't know. It's all right. So look, let's just get into it. All right. I know what you're alluding to is obviously, for those who have been listening to us for a while, you probably noticed that school has not been around. I want to be very careful and precise with what I'm about to say. So please bear with me, everyone listening. And thank you, Rachel, for giving me this moment.
For sure.
I am very big on when you are with me, when you're in my circle, when you're someone I love and I care about, I want to make sure that whatever is going on in life, I do not tell your story for you. If and when school decides to tell his story on life, I I want to make sure he has a blank canvas to communicate that properly without anything else being going there before he puts his stencil or pen or whatever you want to call to it. Here are the facts. The facts are, we all know as 30-year-olds, the new adults, whatever you want to call it, life is difficult. There are hurdles and roadblocks. There are moments when you realize and you feel the weight of being the adult in the room. And there's really no one to turn to. And some of us are extremely blessed to be able to navigate in that space, no matter how heavy it gets. However, I can speak for myself, I can speak for Rachel, that whenever it does get too heavy, that you should have some space to take care of what you need to take care of, right? Regardless of what's going on in your life. We're always going to advocate for taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental, your physical, your spiritual, the whole nine, all right? Everyone's allowed grace, and everyone should be granted grace. And that is just the fact of the nature. Life is tough. School has things in his life that are way higher on the priority list than podcasting. And he is taking the proper time to take care of those things. If you're asking, like I said, those are the facts. If you're asking me my opinion, just to be clear and to be 100% honest and transparent with the people who have helped us build this platform, I can't say 100% sure that school will come back to the Culture Garden. I can't say 100% sure that school is going to go back to SGP. I don't know. The timeline is so far out of mind right now that it's hard to even rationally put your head around something like that. That's a very, very trivial conversation when it comes to the overall picture of things. Because by the time it could be happening, the Culture Garden, we know it could look completely different. Like I'm not, that's not something I see for 2024. I'm just going to be honest. That's my opinion. I'm not stating that as a fact. I'm just saying that's my opinion. And y'all know how much school means to me. Y'all know how much I love school. I would never want to put him in a position to where he puts other things ahead of the things he should be prioritizing, right? And I don't mean to be evasive, but that's as much as I want to say about it. We love school. There would be no Culture Garden without school. There are moments that feel odd. There are future moments that haven't happened yet where I question, like, what is this going to be like? We're approaching episode 100. Is it right to have an episode 100 without school? Like, I don't know. But also, I don't know if school is ready to take that step as well. And like I said, I don't want to be too evasive or start speculation. Whatever you want to call it, things are more important than the entertainment side of things, which is, this is all a luxury for us. Podcasting and recording is a luxury for us. As far as your original question, if this was Joe Schmo on the other side that I'm talking to every week, I don't know how it would work. Honestly, I'm just being transparent. I'm so blessed and so gracious that the person that I get to speak about or speak to every week about television and movies is a person I would speak to about anything. And there's a certain level of trust and a certain level of understanding and a certain level of unity that we share, that it's just like waking up, man. It's like waking up and rolling out of bed and getting your day started. If I didn't have that level of trust, if Rachel didn't grant me that, then I don't know what it would look like as a whole. But I will say for sure, I've never thought about anybody else besides Rachel in school. And if it's just me and Rachel, it's just me and Rachel. And I couldn't ask for a better co-host, honestly. And I mean that truly. If Rachel wasn't around, I don't even know what Culture Garden will look like at this moment as we speak, given everything else that's going on. So I know it hasn't been addressed. That's my one and only time probably addressing it. And I love school. Rachel loves school. Mo, I know you've grown a relationship to school.
Absolutely.
You love school.
Absolutely.
And we just want to make sure that we all keep the main thing the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this ain't the main thing. As much as we love it, it ain't the main thing.
Yeah.
But shout out to Rachel for keeping this afloat, because it's 100% trust. And I feel so indebted to Rachel. And I've said this before. Everybody, I think, knows how much of a star I think Rachel is.
Me too.
But I really feel a personal responsibility to make sure that Rachel gets to where she wants to get to, and that the time that she puts in to allow me to fulfill a dream is something that I'll never repay her back unless I'm helping her get to what she wants to do. And that's how much she means to me. And she's just been 100% rider. And whatever we need to do, we do. I also know Rachel well enough to know when it is time to get a guest in, to maybe give Rachel an episode or two off, because she is doing We Got Y'all and she's killing it over there, and not putting too much on the weight to where, you know, not famously, that's fucking hype. Not famously. But I've always said, I'm leaving with what I came with when it comes to this podcast shit. I came in with Rachel being one of my best friends. I'm never going to leave this game without that still holding true. It's never going to get to a point where it's a business relationship. It's never going to get to a point. And that's the same with school. If it means that it's a business relationship and we're not brothers, then there needs to be a discussion. And that's just how I feel. Like, so me doing this with them, those two, Rachel, school, they're more important than this whole thing, you know? And yeah, like I just couldn't do any of this without them. If it was anybody else, this might look a little different. It might be a hiatus, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's my long-winded answer of how it looks like with 2 instead of 3. It is weird at times. It is odd at times. I'm still trying to figure it out. But when I think about it, I think about I'm on the very beneficial end of this. There's not there's not real life shit that I'm going through and dealing with.
Okay.
So just love and shout out to my brother's school.
Shout out to school.
For sure. Shout out to school. Well, all of that, everything that Kyron just said. But for me, on a lighter note, it's the it's the same. It's a bit easier. Kyron grants me the grace to just do my own preparation, but really just come in and run my mouth. And because of that, I guess my load has not too much changed. And I think that we have the rapport. There are moments where I'm like, oh yeah, I do wonder what he would say in regards to certain movies and this and the third. But I think that we have enough of a rapport to carry conversation. And to your point, you know, when I'm super not interested in something.
Yes. Yes.
Silence, breaks happen, you know. And I appreciate them greatly.
I'm glad that I know when those moments happen.
Yeah.
And to what Rachel just said, I'm sorry, Mo, real quick, to what Rachel said about allowing her to just kind of do her own preparation. It reminds me of, if anybody out there has seen the Wyclef Tiny Desk. Wyclef John had a tiny desk. I believe it was Tiny Desk. I hope I'm not misquoting. But he was talking about working with Whitney Houston. And people might have seen this clip where he's working with Whitney Houston on a song and Whitney's recording. And Wyclef is like, damn, we get to this note and the note is flat. And I have to tell Whitney Houston,
the voice,
one of them ones, one of the elite few who have ever walked this earth who can, like, just one of them ones. I have to tell her that the note is flat. And Whitney Houston said, honey, the note wasn't flat. I bent the note. if I'm Wyclef in that situation, there's never a moment where I have to tell Rachel the note is flat. Like, I 100% trust Rachel with what she's doing and what's going to come out on the other end. People might even be surprised of our lack of pre-production. Like, we have our format and we go from there. There's not really too much. A lot of the conversation we have, if I'm asking questions or if we're playing the this or that game, that's all in the real time. I'm never texting Rachel like, hey, here's what I'm going to do or ask beforehand. Like, this is what we do. Because we've been doing this for so long as individuals. Yeah. Like, me and her are genuine friends. So yeah.
For sure.
Speaking to I told you I was gonna come back and remix this. Speaking to when Rachel is not into it, there's a famous episode, Queen and Slim. I hadn't listened to it. Y'all kept referencing it for like a few random episodes I'm listening to. I was like, bro, okay, I gotta go listen to it. I'm headed to the barbershop. I'm listening to Ray, and she is going Kobe Bryant, like getting hacked the whole game, shooting, hitting, and ones. I'm like, she is bro. And
Rachel put up 60 that night.
And it's one thing when somebody gets like passionate and they're not really making sense. They're just passionate because they just don't like something. But the fact that like she was like passionate and accurate, like I was like, yo, this is crazy. Had her hot for real, which gave me a little small layer of what pisses her off. What gets Rachel hot. So that made me ask a question earlier today. But I said, you know what? Don't answer that. I'm gonna ask you on the show.
Okay.
What gets Rich hot?
In regards to this film or just in general?
In general, because obviously a film, if there was a film that reflected that, obviously,
let's see.
Like they'll get you there immediately. Like,
it's funny because every time somebody brings up the Queen and Slim episode, I just read a text from my boy Chaz last week about who he just listened to it for the first time and agreed with Rachel. Every time I think about that episode, I always just think specifically about the line, "It's the way I almost walked out the theater." I don't know what it is about when she said that just makes me laugh every single time.
It's the way I almost like.
What makes me hot? That's a great question because I tend to be pretty cool-headed and calm and laid back. The biggest thing I would say that gets me hot is, like, don't play me. Don't play me like I ain't me. I make a point to like spread love as much as I can. Like, I'm not really gonna be here for the bullshit. I'm not gonna troll you too much. Like, if I'm gonna troll you, I'll just leave you alone. But if I'm in your life, or if I'm around you, or even if you're a stranger, say it's a group setting and I'm just meeting you for the first time, but you with somebody that I fuck with, I'm gonna trust that the strength of our relationship means that you're a solid person.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure you're good, you're comfortable, to let you know like it's all love. Whenever that's taken advantage of, or whenever I feel like I'm being played in that sense, I'm always going to take umbrage with that. When you underestimate me, I think I told the story when we were recording Hustle. By the time when I was at the gym playing pickup, shout out to my brother Good. I'm at his crib right now recording. Good was with me in the gym, and this dude just started talking shit for no reason, unprovoked. And I'm one of those people where I won't start it, but I guarantee you're going to wish you never said nothing to me by the time it's over. Because I don't take it there, but I will go ahead and
that's Ray P energy right there, boy.
Yeah, I'm going to bury it because I don't, like, we ain't even got to be here for all that.
Yeah.
Just trying to get my cardio, bro. I'm 30 at that point. I'm 35 years old, man. I'm trying to get a workout in. Ain't no scouts out here. I ain't trying to go to the league. You feel me? Like, I'm here literally just trying to get a workout after work. So the fact that you talking shit and you trying to, like, not even talking shit is cool. You trying to make me the butt of the joke. You trying to be funny. You trying to get laughs. Oh, okay.
Stand-up comedian over here.
Let's all laugh together by the time the shit over.
Let's laugh together.
Anytime that you try to play me or underestimate me, that gets me hot. And I would say throwing stones from a glass house. Like, sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Like, just be quiet. Like, I know, you know what I'm saying? You know what the you know who the you know what the you know who. Let's keep that between me and you. Like, settle down over there. Like, don't try to do that. Like, we gonna be chill and relax, and don't tell no lie about me. I won't tell no truth about you.
That line didn't age well. But yeah, I feel you though. You lied about you. It's crazy.
But yeah, that's what gets me hot. That's really about it. Not too much. I really don't be born. Like, I don't.
No, I mean,
I don't take none of you niggas. Hey, I don't take none of you niggas serious.
Like,
I don't take none of you niggas serious. I don't believe none of you.
None of you.
I'm not even invested enough to even be emotionally affected by what you're saying. But
ties into.
If you
I swear to you, before you started answering, I was gonna say, cool ass Kyron ain't gonna really get too hot.
Yeah, I don't care. It's the people close to me that I care about that make me feel emotional.
Yeah, right. Well, the only reason I asked because there's this thing, Ray, that he texted me earlier today. He's like he was like, oh, that's the Mo. That's my favorite Mo.
Turned up Mo. Turned up Mo is my favorite Mo.
Which I'll be chilling, but it'd be certain moments where I'll get hot for real. I'm like, you know, he hit me. He gonna put niggas make me sick.
Yeah, I listened to for context.
Maurice Hunt, like it was a direct.
For context, I was listening to the So Far pod, and Mo was on his like turned up Mo rant, and there was a quote in there where Maurice dead serious, like, y'all niggas make me sick, and I quoted it. I typed it, and I put it in quotes,
right?
And I quoted him, Maurice Hunt III.
Like,
because that shit, when you listen to it in real time, it's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's the reason I wanted to know that, but we throw the ball in your court. I don't know. Did you get this over to Ray P? I wanted to know. I think I asked five films that impacted you the most on a personal level. And it can even be TV shows because I know Ray, you deep in the streets when it comes to television as well. I know I listened to what y'all spoke about on Culture Garden, so it gave me a whole different understanding, which I connect with you another level with that because I'm more of a television guy than a movie guy, but I've watched a lot of movies in the culture, but definitely television because of the nuance that in storytelling that could be expanded in an episodic format versus, you know, obviously a full movie, 2 hours or so. But yeah, so I want to see like 5 films that impacted you, who you are, your personality, how you deal with things, how you think about things, how you talk, how you walk, how you act, whatever it is, like these films or television shows that directly affected in a, you know, however way, good or bad, your personality.
Okay. What's love got to do with it? The Temptations movie.
Hold on, wait. Why? Hold on. Can I get the why too?
That's another Week in the Books conversation.
Oh my gosh. Look at it.
I loved that movie from the first time I saw it. And I used to babysit for my little cousins, and we would just watch it, and I would make them watch it and memorize the songs and routines. And part of that was not necessarily, I used to dance and sing in my life. So some of that was that. Everybody knows I love music. But also there was some saving going on from some volatile situations. So that's why for What's Love Got to Do with the Temptations, my father used to be a no rap zone in his car. So growing up, we had to be at a cousin's house or something to even watch music videos or to listen to rap, despite we talk all the time about having cable. But even still, you in a car with JP, it's no rap. And so the Temptations were such an integral part of my musical education in life. And so by the time the movie came out, 7th, 8th grade, I was like, oh my God, I watched this every single day. And my dad bought it for me on DVD, and I literally watched it, or it's VHS, whichever. But I watched it every single day for years. Anywhere But Here. Have you heard of that? That is starring Susan Sarandon and a young Natalie Portman. It is about a coming of age story of a young woman dealing with her single mother who is looking for love in all the
Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Looking for love in all the wrong places, estranged from the rest of the family because she's chosen a life. Story doing your daughter wrong, sending her out on all of these casting auditions. And if you've ever heard me sing the Be Optimistic song, be optimistic, don't you be a grumpy when the road gets bumpy, just smile, 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 be happy. That is from that movie. Natalie Portman's character is doing a monologue, but she's pretending to be her mother, and her mother is on the other side of the casting call door. But that movie means the world to me just because Be Optimistic. The Inkwell, just a childhood favorite movie. It's like a guitar string. When you pluck it, learn that what that actually meant.
Yo, I'm just sitting in the studio trying to get with you, baby.
You better sing. And number 5 would probably be Amistad. People who don't know, I minored in Africana Studies. I went to Africa for the first time in 2004. And then again in 2006. I thought I was going to be a cultural anthropologist at the time. So I was doing ethnographic field study with the program that I was in. And shout out to Dr. LaRuth Perry, who just cultivated my mind in that regard. Yeah. Shows.
I'm so amazed. I'm sorry. Rich is used to this, but he's used to this. I'm always amazed. Like, what the?
Yeah, I love film. And I remember seeing Amistad in the theaters, first experience, since it's Culture Garden. Yeah. But shows, Cosby Show, Different World, all that.
Come on, all that? Huh? I'm watching the TLC doc right now on Netflix. You heard? It's heat too. It's heat.
Okay, 2 more. I'm gonna go Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Okay. Why that over any other sitcom?
Because I was in love with Mark Curry. And I follow Raven Simone forever because I really, my number 5 might be That's So Raven, but I feel
That's So Raven is, hey.
Yeah, I love Raven real bad.
Cheetah Girls, all that?
Oh, Cheetah Sisters.
Come on now. Cheetah Sisters, we stick to. Come on, bro.
Come on,
I was gonna marry Raven Simone. Do you hear me?
She was my sister in my head. I loved her so much.
Man, Dr. Doolittle. Anyway, all right, don't get me started because I'll go all in nostalgia back. But dope. That's really dope. What say you, Rich, man? What you got over there? 5 films, 5 shows, man.
Man. I'll tell you 2 shows right off the bat.
Okay.
Martin, The Wire.
For sure.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 essentials. To know them or to know me.
Mm-hmm.
Martin is just the same way I explained what's your favorite color. It's kind of the same thing. Like I still watch Martin and still laugh. Like it's my first time watching it. Thanks. Don't know what it is or how to explain that connection that the show has with me, but it's there.
For sure.
The Wire was one of those.
Single. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, Living Single.
I got a hot take about that, but that's another. Y'all got to have me back for it. Or have me on We Got Y'all. We talk Living Single.
Okay.
Right,
or some black sitcoms. When we talk black sitcoms or something, we'll have a conversation.
Okay, bet. The Wire is just to me it's the greatest show ever created. It's just brilliant, ingenious. One of my I guess greatest traits I would say is my attention to detail. I always like to say I'm very self-aware and I pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
Whether I speak on it or not, I pay attention to everything. And that show just the way it masters and weaves things, and you have to pay attention to every single thing. And there's so many Easter eggs, and there's so many real moments, and so many life moments. Now the stakes were much higher on that show, but you can relate it all to life. I'll start with those two shows. I'll try to think of some more. As far as movies go, 5 Heartbeats. I've mentioned this numerous times. My pops he was a serial rewatcher. He would always watch Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Friday, 5 Heartbeats. The 5 Heartbeats, I remember having it on VHS with the blue box and just being able to quote that movie start to finish as a child. It was just always held a special place in my heart. I still love that film. When you get the history of it and see all the legends that were in it, it goes even further. Now we're gonna kind of pivot into my love of film with these next couple. Well, let me say this, another sentimental one, The Wood.
For sure.
The Wood is very important to me. So I've had a lot of the same friends since elementary school. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Good, shout out to D Hall, shout out to Shell Gaines. Like, had a lot of the same friends. And The Wood, I was the last one to come to the school district. All right, I went to private school my first 3 years, kindergarten through 3rd grade. I went to Catholic school and then Christian school. And then 4th grade, I ended up going to public school. So I was the last one there. And it felt like I was Mike.
Big Mike.
And I was Big Mike, and there was already Rolling and Slim. You know what I mean? Like Good was like Rolling. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? It was just one of those situations. And
you're always clowning, fool.
That coming of age, when you come into a new environment, like I'll never forget coming from a Christian school, I never knew my lips were big because nobody capped on me. Christian school. Like nobody there. That wasn't teasing and capping and however you word it, wherever you from, the Jones, whatever. Like that just wasn't playing the dozens. It wasn't a thing. And I'll never forget this girl like nicknamed me Bubblicious because of how big my
no, whoa.
Like to this day, my boys still talk about that and laugh about it.
No.
So to kind of I only mention that because it tells you about the whole new environment that you're stepping into as a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
And to have like people that are still family, my brothers to this day, it's kind of that coming of age thing. Like, so when you see them go from, what page 14 on to being in each other's wedding, like it just means a lot to me. It's very sentimental to me. We literally have become boys to men together. We know we've done all the bullshit together. We've matured together, and we've grown as emotionally mature, vulnerable, taking care of business people. You know, so I'm always appreciative of that. Now, those two are sentimental. If I go into my love of film, I'm going to mention The Nutty Professor. The only reason I mention that is because obviously it's a hilarious movie, but it's the first time in my life where I knew that it was a remake of something. And at 9-10 years old, I watched the original Nutty Professor, which most kids my age weren't doing that. They weren't watching black and white movies. They had no interest in finding out what the origin was. I remember watching that because my parents had it on VHS and just went out of sheer curiosity. Nobody steered me towards it. This is Nutty Professor 2. Let me see what it's about. So that's when I kind of knew it was a little bit different. The second one in that same vein is Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday is one of the first DVDs that my parents bought. So remember, that came out in 1999.
Yeah.
And the VHS DVD transition kind of even extended into my high school years. Like, not everybody was fully transitioned. By that time, we were buying DVDs. DVDs were super expensive. We had a player. But for Any Given Sunday Any Given Sunday was one of the first ones we had. That's the first film that I looked at the DVD menu and I watched the director commentary and I watched the bonus features and I watched the bonus scenes. Once again, Nobody steered me towards that. It was unsolicited. I just had a curious mind about film. I wanted to know more about this movie that I enjoy so much. Beyond the surface level, let me find out more about it. And to find out that there was a world where you had people making the film, telling you behind the scenes stuff. Mo, you always talk about how research and stuff I am. It kind of goes back to that. That all started back then.
Like, were you gaming at the time too?
Yeah, I would game and stuff like that. I was definitely gaming and into the games and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So that was just a natural. It sparked this thing where every movie I watched, I wanted to know everything about it, like everything about it. So that kind of came way years and years and years before the podcast. I was doing that type of research. So when this came about, it was very natural. The third movie that I would add to that, my fifth movie, I guess, is Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction changed the way I viewed how movies could be made. I was 7 years old when it came out. I did not watch it at 7 years old. I was about 10 or 11, and my pops had told me and shout out to anybody in your life, whether they're parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whoever, anyone that sees that you have an interest in something. I was just having this conversation with someone and kind of guides you towards that and kind of steers you, pushes you in that direction. My pops knew how much I love movies. And once I reached an age of maturity, he was telling me about Pulp Fiction. I sat down and watched Pulp Fiction and just was blown away by the dialogue, by the non-linear storytelling. I just never knew you could tell them, you could make a movie like that. Like there was a very traditional ABC, and then we getting up out of here. Like that was just, it just blew my mind.
That's way different.
Yeah, way different. So it was one of those where I was like, oh, there's no limits to this thing. It can go wherever your mind takes you. And that was it for me. Obviously, there's some sentimental, personal ones, Life, Toy Story, all of that stuff. Just remembering pops taking me to, like, at my big age, at 13, when Toy Story 2 came out. And my pops knowing how much I love Toy Story, because when it came out originally, I was 8 years old. And being like, yo, let's go to the theaters and watch Toy Story 2. Like, you know what I mean? Those are moments. Man. Or those moments where your mom is still treating you like a child, but your pops ain't. So your pops, at 13-year-olds, your pops saying, let's go see Life. And we in the theaters, me and him, getting weak at this R-rated content that I know my mom.
You're not supposed to be watching,
if she knew I was in there, like, because I'm a nasty motherfucker. Like, she was not.
All that.
I was 11 years old. I was 11 years old when He Got Game came out. And my mom, at 11 years old, in the theater, my mom put her hands over my eyes when Jesus took his college visit. Like, stop it, Mom.
I mean, they was getting to it though.
Like, shout out to moms, but I only say that because you know, she wanted to, I'm her baby. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure she keep the world as pure as possible. And Pop's like, nah, bro, we about to live. So yeah, those are some of the ones, man. Those all mean something to me.
Okay, I'm gonna chime in here, and then I got one more question. It's not really a heavy question, but I'm gonna throw it in there because y'all both in the, you know, with the whole Greek thing. I didn't really come up with a list, but now y'all, you know, I feel inspired. You know, in the words of DJ Khaled. I guess as far as films, The Wood, like, you know, Mike, I'm a sucker for internal narration when it's done well. That's what helped me, inspired me to make Roll. I made a post a while back about that opening with Omar Epps. It's like, oh yeah, The Wood. Well, it's not what you think it is. That whole intro was inspired. I didn't even realize it subconsciously how I inspired that whole intro to Roll, the first episode. Like how I laid it out right there. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was buried deep in my mind. That whole how he brought us into the world. So The Wood, just Mike, and like, you know, trying to figure it out and knowing you was different, but like knowing you could be that nigga too. You just had to figure it out. It's light blue, you know what I'm saying? So The Wood, definitely one of those ones. Best Man. You know, I just looked at, you know, I looked at my mom's and them and how they just like look at these men, Morris Chestnut and this, and I'm looking at the men, and you know, that's the era where men was trying to actually be sexy. And so like for me, I've always took on like, yo, I'm trying to be sexy, you know, because that's a real R&B nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at that, like, oh, that's what they liking. They looking at the LLs. They're looking at, oh, you walk a certain way. The sweater's a certain way. You licking your lip. I'm looking at these dudes like, oh, these them dudes. This is what it is. You know, now we're in a different era where it's totally different. But like at that time, it's like, oh, that's what they, you know, that's what they own. That's what they like. And so I got my whole like romance, smooth swagger was just like from that. You know what I mean? All of them really, with the exception of Murph. But shouts out to Murph. I understand him a little more with the series.
The series did great justice for Murph.
So. Oh, it definitely did. I loved him there. Like, because when he's like, hey man, I'm tired of you niggas clowning me, bro. Like, what are we doing? I'll probably say House Party.
Okay. Ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Hey man, come on, man. Step to the stage too late. I blew it up. Like, man, come on, bro. Because kids spell backwards describes you best. Like,
I still traditionally play "Ain't My Type of Hype." It's on playlists like that. I love that song.
I love it.
You love so.
Ain't my type of hype, baby.
Hey, that's a vibe, bro.
So good. That's my shit, man.
Yeah, but again, I guess in this, it's probably another conversation on here, but like it's just I've always had this like underdog, overlooked type of personality where that's always been kind of my life until now, where I'm like, okay, I'm embracing that and I'm gonna step on that, you know, with others. So relating to kid in a way. I mean, obviously, I'm not a mixed guy, I mean, clearly, but like, but
yes,
you want to lock me up because I'm a black man on a black street. You just want to lock my black ass up. But like just that whole thing, and like I've been there going past curfew. You knew you was gonna get your butt whooped, but you know what time it is. I gotta see if I'm gonna get these draws. I'm in high school. Like that whole all that. Like I'm like, bro, I'm here for it because you knew you was gonna get your butt whooped. You gonna cry all night, you gonna fall asleep, and it's over with. You know, so House Party. I'll probably say Friday. I love Friday, and it ain't like a direct influence. I probably had to do a little deeper dive, but TV shows, I probably just say Martin. I was a huge Martin fan. Like I feel like that is the top tier, upper echelon of blackness. You know, you see black love in its fullest, which is why I love y'all best of with that, because the episode y'all chose, how y'all figured out what the criteria of what Martin is, that changed my whole they changed my whole dynamic of how I view the show. And so I definitely say Martin. Here's a crazy one. Oh man, what's the show?
Real quick, shout out to School. Mm-hmm. School was the first one that kind of highlighted how much Martin was a love story.
Man,
we view it as a sitcom, but Martin was, especially seasons 1 through 3, Martin was truly a love story. And that's what led to our even decision of what we thought the great episode of Martin was.
I'm trying to another show. Wonder Years.
Wonder Years.
For sure. I can't believe I left that off. For sure.
Wonder Years is a sleeper, bro. Like that show.
I have a special edition DVD series set of the locker. Like the DVDs come in the locker.
Mm-hmm.
I have that of Wonder Years. Classic.
Oh man. Even the black version was good. Like this white dude he ain't try to detour me, but this is why I knew. I said, okay, you can't just trust the white person's opinion. No disrespect to our white listeners. Mm-hmm. Like you definitely need to like check it out anyway, because he was like, man, they try to bring the Wonder Years back, kind of try to take a place for the black, you know. And dude wasn't racist. I could tell, like he probably has a black girlfriend, but he just detoured me, and I really wasn't looking for it anyway because I'm tired of remakes. So when we finally watched it, I was like, oh, this is heat. This is good. I said, see, this is why you can't just, because y'all taste and flavor is different.
For sure.
Wonder Years, I would say. This is just me. I mean, it's recent history, but I'm a huge you fan. I think that we really get into a deep place of psychology.
You was one of those series where I felt like something was wrong with me.
Oh, don't worry. It's something
wrong
with us.
Why am I rooting for Joe?
It's something wrong with us. Like that's
If Rachel told me about somebody like Joe in her life, I'm on the first thing smoking to smoke that.
Oh yeah. I'm throwing you in a cage.
Watching you without any personal connection, I'm like, yeah, Joe, get your girl.
Yeah,
Y'all are
hey,
crazy.
fight for love.
Fight for love.
Fight for love.
For real.
Not to cut you off, Mo, but you know what recent, quote unquote, maybe 2018, 19 show that I absolutely love? Love Is. It came on OWN. It was supposed to be the story of Mara Brock and Salim Akil. It was renewed for a second season, and then Salim got caught up in some foolishness. And one of the women he was entangled with said that this was her story and it was stolen. So, Oprah don't play that. So it was canceled. I ended up downloading All Black because that was the only place it was streaming. Because I have recorded it. It was on my DVR. And once she pulled it, you can't find it anywhere. It was obviously removed, but I love that show so much. It was so fucking good. It had Will Catlett. I can't remember the girl who played Mara, but Nuri, Kadeem Hardison.
Man, my
Michelle
game Kadeem, man, come on.
Loretta Devine. It was so good. You can find it anywhere.
Ola was in it, right?
He's in there. And then Stevie from Really Love is in there.
And Clark Peters. Shout out, one of our categories and the actors from The Wire, Clark Peters, Detective Lester Freeman, he was in there.
For sure.
That's
it is
that's my guy right there.
Just a quick reference for anybody who was interested in that show. I know Rachel said you got to find it. When we do our ratings, too high, too low, just right, that television show for that season has an 8.3 out of 10.
Come on.
I feel like y'all should be giving like garden awards. Like, is it a rose or is it a garden? You feel me?
Ooh.
Or somewhere in between. Is it a bouquet? You feel me?
I like that.
We might incorporate that.
Yeah, something like that. Cause I like y'all so dope. Y'all. We need a culture. Y'all are the Black Rotten Tomatoes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the energy we moving on is on Culture Gardens. Like we got our own grading scale, nigga. You know what I mean? So
with it.
But of course, obviously, Sopranos. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like that's clear as day. Like just the complexities it showed me that we typically would call things evil or call somebody a terrible person, all that. But you see, there's a lot of context and upbringing and all of these things that you don't count as factors that make a difference on how you look at a person. It just opened my mind to a whole nother world. So yeah, I think those are the few. Obviously, we can have this conversation forever, but the last question, hopefully, this is the last question. Y'all both being Greek, have y'all thought about? Have y'all done the movie Burning Sands?
I watched
okay.
it. I've seen
y'all
it
reaction
Rachel,
just told me what it was.
Did you ever watch it, Rachel?
Y'all reaction. Rachel looks like I am not talking about it. You looked at like y'all told me right there. Y'all watch this on YouTube, bro.
I've watched Burning Sands. We would never on this here podcast or any I'm ever a part of discuss Burning Sands.
Stomp the Yard?
There's room for discussion for Stomp the Yard. There's room for discussion for School Days.
Okay.
That would have to be careful.
Very careful.
That's probably it. It's another movie, but
some things.
One more.
Being Greek means that, as Rachel said once upon a time, if you ain't been to the party, then you ain't been to the party. And that's just kind of what it is. Like it's the walking definition of if you know, you know. And it's not our jobs to inform anyone.
It's
and
just because y'all love Kendrick, huh?
Here you go.
No.
Just because Rachel and myself hold certain truths doesn't mean those truths are appropriate to discuss in front of everyone. And I'll say it like that. Like, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean we're being evasive. That just means
but that's what comes with what y'all are a part of. So I get that. People that know on the surface level, on the outside, know that they know that you ain't gonna get nothing out of them.
And it's more so just like you can be in bad standing or feel a certain way about your certain organization.
Mm-hmm.
It just says a lot about who you are. If you you ain't got to say nothing.
For sure.
Because somebody asks you a question, I mean you got to answer.
That part.
That's true. That's very true.
I just want to clarify, Mo. You said you asked if we love Kendrick. I don't like either one. I'm not a rap girl.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, no R&B, Drake. We can get no R&B. I mean, he's a singer too. Okay.
I appreciate his contribution to music.
That's her version of I appreciate your thoughts.
Appreciate your thoughts.
And I hit these niggas with that all the time. They be going in. I'm like, I appreciate your thoughts. Okay. Well, I'll put it this way. What's next for Culture Garden? What's the brainchild and what can we expect is I'm just speaking for the fans. What can we expect? I know this is a very busy season for y'all. Y'all are career-driven individuals that it requires a lot. Obviously I am as well with a family. What can we expect for We Got Y'all? As far as some interesting, fun, dope concepts y'all got coming, and then also for Culture Garden. What are some things that people can expect coming soon? Obviously, there's some adjustments happening because of the busyness. What should we look for?
Rachel, you want to go first or me?
We've got a lot of shows on the pipeline. Not necessarily all quote unquote for the culture. I'm Rhaenyra Targaryen, so House of Dragons
got the hair and everything, cuz huh?
Come
on, stop playing. Some introspective discussions on shows, maybe more interviews. Just a lot. It's gonna be interesting for the rest of the year. So I'll just say that.
Okay.
Yeah. Once again, I'll take a little bit of space. Hopefully it's not too long-winded. I am very excited about We Got Y'all and what we have going on over there. What it's developing into, we've talked about before how it started and where it is now. Given that it's a busy season, I'm excited about some of the shows, the possibilities. I'm excited about the trial and error that's going to take place. Because I've experienced the trial and error on the Culture Garden side of what works, what doesn't work, and the whole nine. And I'm excited about that on We Got Y'all because I think the possibilities are endless. It's just about finding out what really works. So I'm looking forward to that. Ray P is doing an incredible job. I can't say enough about her and everything that she's got going on. So please tune in and subscribe to We Got Y'all. It's not a scene by scene recap type of thing. It is literally a general conversation about your favorite shows. It's about going to work and going on Twitter and talking about, a lot of the things that you wanted to, that you witnessed or experienced on TV.
I love that Raising Canaan. Like what I was mad. Dang, like you niggas did not do this season.
For me personally, my biggest thing is going to be the other side of this. It's not the content, right?
Right.
It's I said it earlier, I feel such a allegiance to Rachel. And I do this just as much for her as I do myself. I want to make sure that the time she invests in me isn't wasted. And I want her, and not saying she feels like that by any means, but I want to make sure that there is some fruit at the end of this labor.
For sure.
So a lot of that is me just making sure that I'm doing everything I can to get more exposure, to push on the marketing side. Full moment of transparency. That's something that I've written down because at the beginning of the year, late last year, I really set a goal of making it to American Black Film Festival, which is taking place in June in Miami. And me and Rachel even had a discussion about it. And here we are. It's happening in a couple weeks, and we are not going. I've already started planning for 2025. I know what tier I want Rachel and myself to be in, as far as like the VIP package, the travel arrangements, all of that. That's something I'm already planning because I just believe in our talent and I believe in what we're doing. Um, Even if the Culture Garden as we know it doesn't look like this in a year or so, what it might spawn and the other opportunities. If it wasn't for Culture Garden mode, there would be no good earners for me. There would be no We Got Y'all for us. There would be no interview series that I'm working on, which started as something that I'm, wanted to kind of do on my own as a pet project. And now I'm thinking about it more and I'm like, man, how do I incorporate Ray P into this? Because us just having great conversations with good, genuine people, I think it will go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel series that I have planned, Rachel don't do comic books, but Marvel, DC, sci-fi type of series that we have planned for the Culture Garden. More best episodes ever, which Maurice, you've asked specifically, hey, have y'all ever thought about for We Got Y'all retroactively going back to shows that have ended and discussing them episodically? Rachel, we had a catching up with Ray P episode where we discussed that.
Yeah.
It's not really on the radar, but what I do want to do with Rachel is a best episode ever of Insecure. And maybe see if that leads to
that right there,
other series. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And just kind of discuss these without going in the full depth of season by season, episode by episode. So there's a lot of like sub projects that are built under this umbrella. This was made to be an umbrella. And then whatever happens from there is going to happen. But I'm looking forward to the journey. Couldn't ask for anyone better than Rachel. And not only that, the podcast family has grown. I truly consider you and Spike Lou a part of that. It's a blessing to know that you don't have to go outside to look for help. Like if I really need anything with an episode, I can call on you. I can call on Spike. Shout out to my boy Brian, who I know will be there for some of our non-cultural things, even though he's been on House Party and Drumline. There's a lot of things that I could talk to him about.
Yeah,
and that comes from trial and error. You know what I mean? I know Mia has helped us out. There's a lot of people. K-Rob.
Mia, man.
The hip-hop idea that I have that I've shared with you and Spike, I have an R&B version that I want to do with Rachel if time permits.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. So
don't let me get started because I'm an R&B nigga for real.
Yeah, the ideas are flowing. So no, Maurice, you know the idea. You know my idea.
Yeah, I got you.
You and Ray P on an R&B tip.
I just from time to time, you know what I'm saying, like, because really I only rap because I thought it was only one style of singing. Like my brother really is like a vocalist for real. So I didn't realize until like, of course, you get your Andre 3000s and you get these different eclectic styles. I'm like, oh, I can hold melodies too. But at the time, I'm looking at 90s traditional singing. And so that's the only reason I started rapping. But I'm like, I always was an R&B romantic, like this show. Anyway, I don't want to belabor the point because there's a lot of other shows I didn't mention. One Tree Hill, a lot of white shows. A lot of white shows.
You was randomly watching 90210 or Melrose Place.
Oh yeah, 90210, Melrose Place, One Tree Hill, Degrassi. It's a lot of them joints. I mean, and I'll say this, and I'm not trying to make. It's not gonna be long with it. The only reason I enjoy white shows as much as I do is because they seem to have the luxury of, we just get to be regular. We don't have to be like, I gotta be this, I gotta be this type, that type, this. No, I just get to exist. You know what I mean? And sometimes with black shows, we always gotta have a certain something. Oh, he's a gangster. Oh, she's
there's gotta be the somebody brings a gun to school episode or the drug episode.
You know what I'm saying? It's a stigma to it. It's like sometimes I just like to see people in their regularness where it's like what we would gauge as lame, they just gauge as, that's just another individual. You know what I'm saying? That's what I enjoy about it. So that's why me and Spike, we have the same viewpoint. We talk about, shows that are obviously not black. So those shows have helped me obviously in the workplace. I know Ray P could probably, understand like sarcasm and how they operate. And but anyway, man, I ain't gonna hold you up. I know y'all got to do your thizzle, man. I appreciate being on here. I look forward to the next, when I pop up again. And hopefully the listeners will embrace me as a guest and, affiliation to the Culture Garden. And we got y'all. And, I look forward to it, man. If y'all ain't already, man, go check out SGP, man. Go check out I forgot to say that movie, man. Go check out SGP, the episode we did, if y'all haven't already, of
yeah,
Love
man,
Don't
Love Don't
Cost
Cost
a
a
Thing.
Thing.
Yeah, that movie is one of the ones on my list too. So I forgot to mention
Incredible
that.
movie.
Yeah.
Incredible movie. Yeah. Maurice, before I let Rachel take the stage, Maurice, man, it was a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, we trusted you with this space to kind of come in and talk to us as a true savant of film, television, podcasting, producing, and just kind of knowing who we are through our work. We appreciate the questions. I know you can. I'll put this in the episode description. Roll audio series, Good Under Sopranos, which is co-hosted by myself and Spike along with Mo. So Far Pod, an objective outlook on Drake and his music. Really incredible stuff what they're doing with that. Shout out to Ash. I think it's dope. We'll save another conversation on how it is working with your sister and how that flows.
Yeah.
And then most importantly, another week in the books. You've heard us on here. Rachel has coined the phrase. That is another week in the book conversation.
Man.
Just love the conversation and the talks that take place over there. I think we all need more of it because it allows us and makes us be honest with ourselves.
For sure.
Whatever's going on in life. But I appreciate you joining us and taking the space. I'll hand the floor to Rachel before we get out of here.
That's it. Everything that Kyron said, Mo, I just really, really love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
I think that you're just great.
I really appreciate
it. But I love you.
I believe you. That's why it means a lot coming from you, because I know when you say it and I've listened to you, I'm like, oh, she mean it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I'm grateful for you in this space. And just the guidance and the genuine relationships that are being forged. And I'm appreciative of you. Kyron, I love you real bad. I love you deep. Guys, we see each other. Yeah. Thank y'all for listening. Like, subscribe, share to all the feeds, which will be in the episode description. Thank you for listening and watching. Take care.
Mo will be back next week. We have a movie coming next week. Oh, yeah. Mo will be back as a guest. Looking forward to his first official film feature on the Culture Garden podcast. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. With that being said, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool.
Peace out.
We out, y'all.
Bye.